a few places where I think we could start, but I wanted to hone in on what I see as a new phase in how the Trump administration is doing business. So firing prosecutors who won't go after their political enemies. Trump admitted in a statement that he pushed out U.S. Attorney Eric Siebert, calling him a, quote, woke rhino, because he refused to charge people like James Comey, Adam Schiff, Letitia James as well. Trump wrote, "They're all guilty as hell. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our credibility." In any other era, obviously that would be open and shut, impeachable offense. In this era, I feel like it was a bit of a shrug and got pushed off the page pretty quickly. As a former prosecutor yourself, how do you see what's going on, and do you think there's anything we can do about it?
We've seen this at my old office with Alina Habba, who is there illegally. And she has said she wants to turn New Jersey red. So we have seen things like her attempt to prosecute the governor, the attorney general, a sitting member of Congress. She tried to prosecute the person who is the mayor of our largest city, but
Hey folks, this video is just a preview of the full episode, which you can tell it's only a few minutes long. That's available now on our very own Raging Moderates YouTube channel. We're so excited about the community that we're building over there. We'll be bringing you more of the content that you like. We're doing these rapid response videos too. Leave comments. We love it. We'll still obviously always have the Wednesday and Friday pod. You can click the pop-up link now or head over to youtube.com/@RagingModerates to subscribe.
the tapes prove that prosecution to be completely wrongheaded. So again and again and again, we've seen her attempt to undermine the justice system. And we're certainly seeing it at a federal level. And I think what's remarkable is, I think you mentioned that this is the new way the administration is doing business. What's shocking to me is how at every level, this is the most corrupt administration working to move money into Trump's pockets and anyone who's working for him. So we saw the $50K in cash that his border czar got, and, Trump killing any prosecution there. We've seen numerous foreign entities pushing money into Trump's crypto company. The UAE, for example, doing so with a huge payoff, and then a couple weeks later getting any of the blocking of tech into the UAE and back and forth rescinded. And so the payoffs going on. I know we've seen Trump and his family members making billions, and all at the same time, we're seeing so much money moving out of the pockets of working people. So these tariffs are a huge tax on all the working people. As Trump uses them to enrich himself through his crypto companies, people in New Jersey are paying more. From everything from grocery stores at Amazon. I think everyone's Halloween costumes are going to be incredibly expensive. Again and again, it's this huge tax on working people as Trump lines his pockets.
One of the people that you didn't list in the grifter set that I would like to add into the mix is Dr. Oz. So I'm sure you saw the MAHA announcement about Tylenol, right? That now the administration is declaring that it's not safe for pregnant women when it is the only medication that we can take safely, which has been proven out by science, during a pregnancy. And they are boosting another drug for FDA approval that, lo and behold, Dr. Oz's company sells that supplement, his company, iHerb. So add him to the list. And I wanted to get your take on what is going on with RFK Jr. and also to highlight, I watched your debate from last weekend with Jack Ciattarelli, your Republican opponent, and you had this great moment where you called him out for embracing the far-right fringes of the party and connecting it to endangering kids' health, because this rollback of vaccines, as we all know, and we're both moms, that, you can have a conversation about the vaccine schedule. No one is saying that we shouldn't be able to do that. But when we have found cures for things like measles and mumps, and we're going back on the science and that, we're heading in a very dark direction.
And this science is 50 years old. I mean, we have been working to eradicate childhood diseases that killed millions of children. It's kind of a modern day miracle if you think about it. And then to have a state like New Jersey, the most densely populated state in the country, and to have that threat, school has just gone back in session. So we've seen an uptick in all kinds of colds and coughs. Imagine if your kid's coming home with measles or mumps. or whooping cough. Imagine if you have a baby at home. We've seen babies across the country now dying from whooping cough because of the lower vaccine rates. Imagine if you have a baby at home and your kid comes home from elementary school with whooping cough. This is the kind of danger we're putting our kids in. And to sort of receive your medical information on like by from TikTok influencers. I mean, he parents, RFK parents these weird things about mitochondria and stuff that anybody in science and medicine will say that doesn't even make sense. And so it is okay to question science. That is part of the scientific method. But to whole scale ignore how we keep people safe is just unacceptable. And then, and you've raised so much. I mean, yeah, I'm a mom of 4 kids, and I can tell you, being pregnant, I think a lot of people who've never been pregnant, and this was probably me before I thought of getting pregnant or was pregnant, you just think it's like everybody does it. It's natural. I think about half the women died in pregnancy before modern medicine. So you get very nervous. You start to hear from all of your friends and family members about horrific things that happen to them or to their friends during pregnancy. And you're working so incredibly hard to protect yourself and your baby. And you're relying on your doctor. And there's always, each pregnancy, there was something new that I wasn't allowed to do, whether it was lettuce because of listeria, or whether it was sushi or cheese, or like all kinds of different stuff. I'd always go, and I'm always a nervous wreck. And to not be able to say, our government is putting out good health advice based on research, and to just have all this guesswork and then to have the president tell you to suck it up. I mean, my God, this is unacceptable. It's why I'm running for governor, because we need real leadership. We need a champion of the people. That's what leaders have to do right now, is to fight whole scale for the people that they're serving, and up to and including fighting against what we're seeing coming from Washington.
Yeah. There was a lot in there, and I could honestly just like talk to you mom to mom for for the entire duration about, how it feels to have a bunch of dudes, frankly, stand up there and tell us to tough it out, or, what's best for us, or that the most important relationship that we have during pregnancy is not actually with our partner, but with our doctors, who are working to keep us safe and actually know the science. But I want to make sure that we talk about what's going on specifically in your race. There was New Jersey is blue, but it's gotten a bit redder. Kamala Harris performed about 10 points worse than Joe Biden did in 2020. We know that Phil Murphy's reelection was much tighter than anyone expected it to be, and kind of the dueling campaign in Virginia, where Glenn Youngkin managed to get elected. And I wanted to first touch on education, because as an observer of what was going on in those races, I saw education as really the focal point of this. Obviously, Terry McAuliffe's comments about, you're not in charge of your kids, your teachers are. But then in New Jersey, that Phil Murphy really suffered because of school closures during COVID, and parents not feeling like the government was on their side and making sure that their kids were being taken care of and having access to the good education that, frankly, they pay huge property taxes to get. So can you talk about your race and specifically how you're addressing education?
Yeah, I think too many parents, and I would include myself in this, feel like we have not centered our children in how we ensure people are getting access to great education, great opportunities. It's not been about our kids. And so in too many cases, we haven't put our money into the programs that are going to actually make sure our kids have great outcomes. So for example, 3rd grade reading. We have got to get back to phonics-based reading. That is what all the studies are showing is going to provide the best way our kids get can read as well as possible. And we know 3rd grade reading is such an inflection point, because that's where, if you can't read at grade level by 3rd grade, you are going to struggle in math and science and history, because you're not going to be able to read your homework. And we know we have a learning loss problem still left over from COVID. We know our kids are facing severe mental health problems right now, a lot of that related to online safety. And so that's why, as governor, kids are a huge platform of mine. I have 4 of them. I was saying I have 4 teenagers. My oldest just turned 20. I can't say that anymore, but
Wow.
it is It is really at a crisis point. And I think in too many ways, it's because we are not focused on how we are doing best by our kids. We're allowing all of this to devolve into different entrenched interest or the politics of the day. And again, we need leaders who are going to put our kids first. So kids online safety, it passed, the Kids Online Safety Act passed with over 90 people in the Senate, went into the House where the Republicans were in the majority. Big tech put a ton of money in Steve Scalise's office and they kill it. And so we're not putting kids first. And that's why as governor, I'm going to make sure that I pass the Kids Online Safety Act. So we are ensuring kids are safer online, that they have better mental health outcomes, and then pushing more mental health resources into our schools. So in all of these ways, in my administration, I'm going to make sure we're taking care of our kids.
I love that. And, we're in the back to school mode, as you talked about in Halloween. I didn't even think about how much the Halloween costumes are going to be. I have to get to that. But affordability, obviously, front and center.